We've got a special episode today. We're at the most famous pizza place in Los Angeles, right here. This is the name. Come and join us for an amazing meal, some good conversation, and Rev Show. So some of our latest social posts have been really interesting. I think people are resonating with them.
Okay.
And one of the ways that I know that is because, there's a lot of engagement, there's a lot of views, but there's also some negative comments.
Negative comments online?
Yeah.
You do not say.
And I promise you, if there's one thing I've learned about social media, it's that when you're getting negative comments, it means you're doing something right.
Or you're doing something interesting.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Because people like to get activated and they like to voice their opinion. And quite frankly, there's nothing more that gets engagement on a comment than having negativity. It's sad, but it's true.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there was a couple of comments and, they were
What'd they say? No, okay. What'd they say? Tell me what they said.
So one of the comments was basically about how one of our videos looked like AI. And you know why? Because it was AI.
Correct.
And I literally validated that. Another comment that was sort of negative was that he said that Chance, in one of our hero videos, rented his BMW.
No, he climbed the ladder. He did his thing. Yeah.
And if you remember, Chance, when we first met Chance, he was the receptionist.
Right. He was handling all the front desk stuff.
Yeah. So he was at the front desk. And through AI and personality and video and just building relationships, he is now a sales leader.
Right.
And it's amazing. And guess what? That 8-seater X5 is absolutely his.
See, that's a very quick example of people seeing things online and not believing them when they first see them.
Right.
That, they just probably rented that house, or, hey, they probably just did that thing. That seems like that's infected that post that we did right there.
Yeah. So all of this got me thinking that how many times have we had an opportunity where someone came to us really disgruntled. They had a bad experience. They had a hard time installing the Dub Chrome extension.
Their button didn't work.
Hey, Rob, the button didn't work.
Button doesn't work.
And then all of a sudden, we spend the time with them to figure out what the problem is, build a relationship, and they literally go from zero to hero.
Yep.
And I'd love to get your take on that because I know you've done this multiple times, probably dozens of times by now. Because the nature of technology is that a lot of times in the beginning it does not work.
Yeah.
So what's your take on this? How do you take someone from a state of dissatisfaction to being an absolute believer?
Well, I think the one thing you have to do above all else, and this goes beyond tech, this is like customer service, sales, technology that you're just talking about, but the expression, people want to be seen and heard, that's one of the biggest things you have to do. If you're dealing with someone that is upset, whether their button didn't work, whether they met with someone for a demo, maybe it didn't go the way they hoped it would go. Maybe they are trialing your product or service and they're just not satisfied. Maybe they're in a training and they're like, man, this isn't helping me. Maybe they're not getting the results they want. The thing you have to do is recognize the issue. You can't try to skirt it like it's no big deal. You have to really be as concerned as they are so you can meet them where they are, because the last thing people want, I think in general, is if they're upset about something, they don't want to feel like you're kind of belittling the issue or you're not meeting them where they are. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is you have to do some investigation. A lot of the times when someone's really upset that something isn't working, we've got to kind of peel back the onion to figure out what's going on. Because sometimes a situation will be where they are 100% right, there was a mistake made or something was just broken. You apologize and you move them away from the scenario to something else that will help them. For instance, if the Chrome extension, as an example, which is one of our screen recorders, is a browser-based screen recorder, if it wasn't working, whether they had lag time or there was just something that wasn't working, well, I'd redirect them to the desktop app. And the desktop app can do what they need to get done instead of hanging on the Chrome extension. We'll get it fixed, we'll figure out what it is, but here's a quick solution for you to get done what you need to get done so they can accomplish that. The other side of it is, sometimes in sales, if someone is using a service or a technique or a tech and they're not getting the results they want, you have to be investigative. Because sometimes they might be upset and say, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not getting responses. Okay, let's find out who's your ICP, who's your ideal client profile. Okay, great, we're on the same page here, great. How are you reaching out? What is your messaging? What is your hook? What's the medium in which you're sending these messages and sales? Are you calling, you emailing, you SMSing, you're reaching them on LinkedIn, Facebook, private messenger, DM? How long are your videos if you're sending videos? How long are your messages when you're sending your messages? Do you have a strong call to action? All of these are incredibly important in terms of why there might be a hole in the boat. And when you find out what that hole in the boat is, you know what you can use to patch it up. We call it in tech terms, there's a tech for that. So we find that a lot here with Dub, where if there is an issue, we locate it, we isolate it, and we find out what the problem was and offer the solution. And that turns someone around, because you've not turned them away when they have their problem. You've got a solution, and you're giving them the right path forward, which I think everybody can appreciate.
There's a couple of key takeaways that I got from that. Number one is validation. When we validate the problem that a person's having, they feel like they're being seen and heard. Number two is we try to make it right. And that's either through redirecting them to something else or addressing it head on to try to solve it. That makes a lot of sense to me. So it's LVAS. So listen, validate, address, and then solve. Okay, so we have the method here. We listen, we validate, we address, and we solve. Now, here's something that I have noticed, and I was thinking about this while you were talking. I actually think that subconsciously speaking, people look for opportunities to test people.
Is that another acronym or no?
I don't know if it's an acronym yet, but they literally are looking for something to see how the person is going to solve it. So they find a glitch. This could be subconscious or this could be conscious. They find a problem, and then they see how the person's going to solve this problem. It could be a receptionist, it could be a salesperson, it could be a business owner, but they want to see what this company does, what this person does in the face of uncertainty, in the face of conflict, and how they're potentially going to solve it. Because how they solve that problem in the beginning of the relationship is a really good indicator, probably, of how they're going to solve problems in the future if there's a relationship to be had here. What's your take on that? Is this a conspiracy theory? What's your take on this?
No, I think it's no, definitely not conspiracy. I think it's right on the point, because a lot of the times, think about if you're demoing a technology, like we demo the tech all the time. People come in, and this has happened a few times, where you always do your research in sales. Whenever you meet with anyone, you always do your research beforehand. If you have deals that are going on, you have to honor deals. If you have any kind of promotions out there. And I was with someone in a demo, and when we were done having this great chat, he ended up going with us. At the end, I said, so listen, make sure you get that discount code, because we want to be able to honor that. And he said, you know what? I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was waiting to see if you brought that up or you were just going to give me the regular pricing. And I said, yeah, hey, listen, no, we're all about transparency. So I think people today more than ever have a way to find things out. Now more than ever, you have to be transparent. The last thing you want to do is get caught where you're trying to, and maybe if it's unintentional or you just forget, it doesn't leave a good taste in someone's mouth if there's some kind of deal going on or promotion, you don't honor, you don't even talk about it, you don't address it, and then they're thinking, oh, you just want me to pay a regular price. That's a chance where you can leave something that's not good. The other thing is, as far as testing, with our live training we do, people come in there, and if they haven't subscribed to our service yet, they are testing us a little bit. Hey, how do you guys play with CRMs?
Yeah.
What would you guys do in this scenario? Just to see what our answers are and how we would address it. And that's like the most important thing, like you're saying. That's a preview of what the relationship is going to be like. So testing happens all the time. It's kind of like if you work at a hotel and all of a sudden or even a restaurant, like one of these, if the owner comes in or the regional rep coming in and say, oh, did you offer, wine when they sat down? Did you get the bread? Like you got like a spotter, someone coming in to make sure everything is the way it would normally be. We could get spotters in our stuff all the time. There could be someone sitting in from another company with a demo just to see how we are. So you have to be on your best all the time. And if you're not on your best, give it your best shot. That's really, and just adhere to the principles that make an experience that someone's going to want to tell someone else about. So that's what I would say.
All right, we're going to gobble down this food. We'll be right back. So what did you think, Rob?
That was great. That margarita pizza was fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching this episode of Rev Show. Hopefully this episode inspires you to turn your most angry, disgruntled customers into your biggest evangelists. If we can do it, anyone can do it.
That's right. Remember, like, subscribe, and follow.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.